caught us being silly. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Saturday.
Yes, it's a beautiful Saturday. Beautiful day out there.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's finally May.
Yes. You know, tell me more.
That's all. So it's SPP. Yeah, I know. I'm going to, but see, like I'm giving him just 30 seconds.
Be ready with our nonsense?
Yes. So, good morning and welcome to Warm N Cozy Quilting.
Hello.
I'm Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
And who are you?
I'm Jason.
And who are you?
Who are you?
The #1 customers. Yes, you are. And you're watching Fabric TV. Although, is it Fabric TV on
TM.
Saturdays when we are not showing fabric?
Yeah, we talk about fabric, things fabric. You see, look, this is fabric.
We should hashtag that every week, Sarah.
Hashtag Fabric TV?
Yes.
Okay.
And behind the camera we have
Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
Okay.
I know you're usually used to this very bright, colorful wall behind me, and I feel very washed out right now.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what this is? Those of you that came for this reason, you know what this is and why it's here. That's what? June SPP. That's what it is.
I'm like confused by his questions. Okay, so but today we're going to talk about Stash Pot Pie.
Okay, that's weird. All of a sudden.
My gosh, we have a special guest here.
Yes, we do.
We have an in-studio guest. That's weird.
Oh, you did not know this.
I did know.
Oh, so there's some conniving, confuddling things happening currently.
Okay, what's going on?
Over here.
Are people coming on camera?
What is happening right now?
No. Okay.
So come on in.
Come on. No, you have to come on camera. Scoot over.
No.
Come on, Donna. Folks,
You can just pop her head in.
This is Miss Donna Rector. Oh, let's give her some bubble because, you know, social distancing. Can you still be seen? You're still here?
I don't know.
What's up, Donna? Hi.
Well, this morning I had planned on being the disembodied voice behind the camera.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go be the
Do you want to be disembodied voice?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Well,
Moving.
I'm here today as a representative of the Quilts of Valor Foundation and the local chapter of Stars of Honor. I'm proud to say that through the Quilts of Valor Foundation, since its formation in November of 2003, that they have awarded 269,000 quilts.
Goodness, that's awesome.
Stars of Honor, the local chapter, has awarded over 220 quilts.
Oh my gosh.
In the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm here to present an acknowledgement to Warm N Cozy for their sponsorship, support, and dedication to the Quilts of Valor. It's through their spreading of the word that the Stars of Honor group has accomplished so much. This acknowledgement reads as such. This certificate awarded to Warm N Cozy Quilt Shop in recognition of their dedication and support to the Stars of Honor group and the Quilts of Valor Foundation. The owners, Danielle Sivas and Debbie Chitney, have gone above and beyond to assist in carrying out our mission to cover our active military members and veterans. Congratulations on your 5 years of sponsorship.
Thank you.
There are no words big enough to express our gratitude and appreciation. All we can say is thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic. Here, that's for you for sure. See that?
Wow, that is so cool.
Can you all see that?
So that's going to go on the wall in the shop.
It will go on the wall in the shop. Are you going to zoom in on that, Sarah?
Sure am.
Well, thanks for the surprise, Miss Donna.
Well, and thank you for your sponsorship.
Oh, sure.
And making this all happen with you, spreading the words. Your #1 customers keep us going.
Yeah.
We love you guys, and it's awesome. So yeah,
Quilts of Valor is near and dear to us.
Love that.
Just, you know.
I'm afraid I'm going to drop it somewhere though.
Okay.
Donna, would you mind putting that over there for me somewhere? Fantastic! How exciting is that?
Yeah.
Surprises.
Oh, Sarah knew what was going on.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
I'll let you continue.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Good to see you, Donna.
See you soon.
Bye.
So yeah,
wow.
QOV, again, if y'all don't know about QOV, that was Miss Donna Rector. She is the head of our regional chapter here that we work with. Obviously that Danielle and Debbie with Warm N Cozy have sponsored for the years. So if you know somebody that you would like to nominate for a Quilts of Valor, or yourself kind of would like to get one because you served and you just never really got any sort of the recognition for it that you probably deserved, not probably, did deserve.
Right. Yeah.
QOVF. Sarah's going to throw a link out there for you. I'm sure that you guys can get to that. Or,
You can
call
nominate someone. You can, yes, you can do all of that through the
QOVF website.
Yes, through the website. Also, if you do want to get involved with helping us to make quilts, especially if you're a long armor, we can always use more help with that, especially.
Sure.
And even with, if you just are a piecer and you want to piece tops together, the best way to get that information would be to reach out to Donna. You see her in the comments all the time, and find out what we're actually in need of. Because a lot of times if you call me, I'm like, oh, now I have to call Donna and figure it out. She also has a lot of fabric that's been donated to our shop that then goes to the group.
Right.
So she has all the fabric at her house. She can help you. She can send you a couple of yards of fabric.
And
to
she's always
help put
looking for
pieces
help
together.
with people for presentations.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes it falls to a select few that have been volunteering to go. But if you have some time and you want to, join the QOVF and be able to help with these presentations, it is amazing
Very
to
moving.
be there when people
Mhm.
receive these quilts.
Yes.
Because when you served and you get something in recognition for your time that for years has gone by that nobody cares. Well, that's
Right.
not true. People do care.
Exactly.
And to be able to see that, it's fantastic. So I suggest if you aren't here local to us and you want to look around your neighborhood, you probably have a QOVF around you somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Great situation to work for.
Yeah.
Work with.
And if you have somebody that you want to nominate who doesn't live in the area, that's totally fine too, because it's nationwide. So you go on there and you can nominate someone, and then their name would go to their local chapter, and they would still get awarded a quilt. So, oh my goodness. Okay, now we're totally thrown off our game here, man.
Here's some of that stuff. That's amazing.
I know. It's awesome. We have lots of service members in our family, so over the generations we've had several. So important to us to make
that
sure
number
that
one
we
customer thing. Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Couldn't have done none of this without you guys anyway.
Exactly.
So
that's right.
we love it. Okay,
All right.
so we're ready to move forward.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you didn't want. She is so in trouble.
Yeah, she clearly knew what was happening. Clearly.
And that's fine. I just I'm not always the best with surprises.
What are you
Have you
gonna
guys
do?
seen that commercial? It's a Captain Obvious commercial.
Yes.
And the husband and wife,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm taking you to the Bahamas. And she's like, you
Where
tell
is it?
me
Yeah.
now. He's like, and then
Definitely. It's like
she doesn't like surprises.
it's true.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't cry though. Somehow.
No.
Thank
I don't know how
goodness for
nobody.
that.
It
Although
got dusty in here for a second.
if they
It was-
would have played the national anthem at the same time, I'd be done.
I think somebody made one cut of an onion as she started talking, and so there was don't do that, and then
Yeah. Nope. Mm.
so there was no crying. It was close.
Yeah.
And I could tell. Not
Yeah.
myself. That's allergies. Stop judging me.
Okay,
oh,
are we
for sure.
scrolling back to say good
Oh,
morning?
I
or are
don't
we
even know.
just
This
gonna-
turned into this whole hot mess of things. Look at all you people out here. Hello, hello, hi,
Good
hello,
morning,
hello.
everyone. Oh, my
Iowa.
gosh.
That's a new one. Hello, Iowa.
Good morning, Karen.
Not
from
that I don't
Iowa.
love the rest of you. You're all number one. But Iowa. I
Yeah.
haven't had Iowa yet.
And
Thank you.
And because there's lots of people out there, like Jane from Arizona. We talk to her all the
Pam
time.
from Alabama.
Pam from
and
Alabama.
Cheryl from the Carolina, South. North.
North, I don't
I don't
know.
remember Cheryl. I'm sorry.
It's
I
his
saw
fault. It's
I
his-
saw Jackie. She's out there. She's from Oregon. I like
Right.
all over the country.
Right. We got lots of people from everywhere.
And we love it. So again, maybe
All
we'll
right.
just kind of skip saying hello to everybody because there's so many. Because
Because
it
you're
is-
all number one to me. You live right here in my heart.
she has a large heart. We need to go see a doctor about it.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So it is the first Saturday of the month.
Right.
That means April SPP is done today. If you are finishing it up today, fantastic. Send your picture
Have
to
to
the
turn it
Quilters
in
Collective.
today.
Sarah will get you May's pattern for free if you finish
Right.
April's by today. You should have got them last night. Is that so? If you didn't see it in your email, check your spam folders. Make sure it didn't get filtered out.
If you just turned it in this morning, then no,
You'll
you
get
didn't
it.
get it last night.
You got
You have to wait
Soon.
until she gets around to double checking and sending them back out.
Right. If you're wondering what does May SPP look like,
If you're wondering what is
Here it is.
SPP,
Oh, I was going to get to that later.
Okay, so here is May's Stash Pot Pie, and it's called Irish.
It's a double Irish chain. I don't know what the
It's
pattern's
called Irish Pie.
Is that what it's called?
Pie.
Irish Pot Pie.
Oh, that sounds
Okay,
delicious.
so we're going to talk about SPP and what it is, but just a little thing is that every pattern comes with a pie recipe.
Yes.
So this month must be a pot pie, like a
I
nice,
could dig some savory
nice
pie thing.
hearty. Yes,
Are you
that would be
drooling a
good.
little bit
A
inside,
little bit,
salivating?
a little bit.
when you eat
I love
food?
pie. He
I
does
do.
not.
I don't. I love pot pies though.
Pot
They're
pies he does.
fantastic.
I just love crust. And so.
It is too early to talk about food.
No, it's not. It's never too early to talk about food. Don't judge me.
But a banana cream pie would be great right now, Sarah. Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't have that surprise for you today.
with coffee and banana cream pie.
I mean, that would have been great if you could have just worked that out.
Not today.
So, back to the SVP conversation. So that's May. We will show you June's at the end of the video
We're gonna reveal it
because it's beautiful, and then you can finish May's and get June's. It'll be great. Good time for all.
Right.
You can't see the quilting on it. Oh, how fantastic is that? Anyway, okay, so May SVP, pieced and quilted by Kelly Rowland. Thank you so much, Kelly. You did a great job
and custom quilted, and this will be back hanging in the shop by
this afternoon.
This
I don't know,
afternoon.
maybe. I got to run all over the place today.
you.
We'll see
You
what
can
happens.
run right from here with it in your hands across the parking lot
Like a cape,
and just
sort of.
put it back up over
that sounds
there.
awesome.
If you want to see the show about 10:30, you'll see Jason running across the parking
Oh,
lot.
that's probably not going to happen. So,
Okay,
so we're not doing a block today, which
we're
we've
not
been
doing
doing,
a block.
but we are going to talk about using Stripology because the Irish chain blocks are nothing but really a way
Right.
you can strip piece things and make them a little easier on yourself.
So of course, and you guys have been finding this in all of the Stash Pot Pie patterns. They'll tell you, okay, so there's 300. I'm making up numbers. I'm not giving away pattern information. Cut out 300 assorted 2-inch squares. And a lot of us, if you're like
Nope.
me, I just read the cutting instructions and I do what it says. And then I start sewing it together and then I go, oh, there's an easier way.
Yeah.
So that has taught me, number one, read the entire pattern.
Yes.
Also, I'm currently working on a quilt that it would have been good to read the whole pattern because at the end, they had me cut my borders lengthwise. And since I had already cut fabric off of that, I didn't have enough to cut it lengthwise. I still had plenty of fabric to make the border, but I now had to piece it. So had I read all the way through the pattern, I would have went, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut that border first. Then I'm going to work through cutting out my pieces, and it's all going to work out great. Same thing here. I want you guys to, the big thing that we've tried to do with making our blocks on Saturday mornings and with Stash Pot Pie is teach you new
Techniques?
little techniques, also
Methodologies.
making you think a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Making you go, okay, wait, hold on. Do I really need to cut 300 2-inch squares?
No.
What if I did how could I make this easier for myself, right? Because I'm going to have this green next to this orange in more than one place in this quilt. So what if I cut strips and piece them together and see, okay, so this is scrap, right?
Yeah.
So this piece is longer than this piece. Who cares?
I don't.
So I've sewn that together. So the best thing to do then is to cut your scraps into strips, whatever the width of the piece is. Sew a couple together. You could even go 3 wide. You're really going to want to kind of think it through and map it out in your head. Am I going to want those 3 pieces next to each other every time? Is it better if I just do 2? What's going to work out best for me? Okay. So, first of all, we're going to talk a lot about Stripology rulers today because first of all, I have lots of you out there who have them
Yes.
and love them.
Love them.
And maybe you have one but not the other, or,
You can have
and-
multiple. It's okay. We
and
don't
we're
judge.
going to kind of talk about what is the difference between them.
Mhm.
But I was looking at the comments and I'm like, I get like, oh, I need to read what that says and answer. No, I can just keep doing this, right? I get
Yeah.
sidetracked. So
Yeah,
easy.
don't do those moves.
Okay. So, I'm also going to show you just, so what you would have is your scrap piece of fabric, right?
Yes.
Your scraps. And you're going to take them and you're going to take out your Stripology ruler.
Here, move this guy out of the way. So can I tell you a little bit about Stripology and Creative Grids rulers
Yeah.
while we're getting prepped here? So, of course, it's Saturday morning, and I've been giving you history on blocks. I did a little bit of looking into these people as well, because why not?
Right.
So, Creative Grids. We love
Let's
Creative
see.
Grids because they're fantastic. Here's what I found out about them. They started in 1989
Oh,
by Sheila Waterfield.
they're as old as me.
Yes,
Oh,
fantastic. It's pronounced Leicester, England, but it's spelled Leicester. So it looks like it'd be like Leicester, but I'm not English, so I wouldn't know that. So it's pronounced
you
Leicester.
speak English, though.
I speak bad English.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Leicester, England. So the family owned a plastics business of sorts, and she used the scraps of that to make templates for her quilting friends.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they kind of got into the template creating thing, rulers and such. And then she used the black and white markings so that you can see those on your fabric and discern them a little easier on your fabric, because smart. The fun thing that I did learn about this, so everybody knows that Creative Grids has the little fox on there.
Oh, yeah, but why?
Do you see this? Oh, here's a bigger picture. You see the fox?
Yeah.
Why is there a fox on there with Creative Grids? That's silly. Because the symbol of Leicester, England is a fox.
How come we don't have a symbol?
I don't know. We need one. It would be an angry little hedgehog.
Please, I love hedgehogs.
It's not really warm and cozy. That's kind of warm and spiky. Not the same.
Okay, so let me just for 1 second pause on the history,
Yeah.
just so I can tell you. So what I'm doing, I have my fabric folded over one time. So this, oh my gosh, why don't I get rid of this coffee?
My goodness gracious, what is happening?
There, my coffee's coming over here.
That's cool.
Yay! My coffee. I'll drink mine.
So I have this fabric folded over once, and I'm using the fold, and I'm lining that up to any black line, or if you had dark fabric and you wanted to line it up to a white line, just so that I have some space here and some space after to cut the whole piece. And I'm just going to cut a couple of 2.5 inch strips. So I'm just going to go right in there,
Okay.
cut it 2.5,
Mm-hmm.
cut it 5.
Okay. And they've got them marked on here for
Yes.
every square.
Every square is 2.5 inches.
2.5. So there's little icons there. Or you can use,
My little green arrows.
where are they at?
Over here. So you can take and you got neon colored arrows.
How exciting.
And you have, this package of arrows has like 192 arrows.
A lot of arrows.
And you can even, so this one I had on the 8 inch, maybe I was cutting 4s and 8s. I can take this and I can peel it off and I can move it over to the 5. So if you're like, I cannot see this little tiny square I keep cutting in the wrong spot. Use your arrows, that are neon colored.
Let's say cut here.
Also, what's really cool is they fit on the little piece in between. So if you need to be sure that your stuff is lining up with your 4.5 inch line,
Oh, look at that.
it fits right
How
inside
smart.
of there, and you can mark your, like if you're squaring up to 4.5 and you want to make sure that you're on the right line,
That's smart.
you can kind of highlight it that way. Because I like glow tape on
Right,
straight
on the
rulers,
rulers,
but like you can't put glow tape across
No,
here
you can't
because
do
you
that.
would be
That would
going
be a
across the cut
Well, that
pieces.
makes absolute sense. I love that. And this all makes a lot more sense, too, because, so, one more little bit about Creative Grids.
Yeah. Tell me.
So, they joined forces with Checker Distributors, which is who we
Mhm.
buy a lot of our Nochini stuff from,
Yes.
in 2000. They agreed to only sell to independent businesses and insisting that they are not sold through big box discount stores. That's why if you
Right.
go to Walmart, you're not going to find it there. Even if you manage to go to a larger store and you find them there, you will
Mhm.
never catch them advertised or on sale. So this is
Because
why
you
we
can't.
love Creative Grids. They insist that you cannot advertise their products at a lower price than MSRP.
So hold on. I have seen
Mhm.
on Walmart.com
Mhm.
a Stripology roller.
You have. Because Walmart.com, much like Amazon, outsources that so you can put something for sale and it sells through Walmart's website. So it's actually selling through another store.
business.
A third
So
party.
like I could sell Creative Grids on Walmart. They would
Yes,
then be
but
like
they would
buying
not
it
be
from me.
discounted.
But they would not be discounted.
Nope.
And so then I would also be paying Walmart.
Well, that's on their end to figure out their nonsense.
If I was trying to sell Creative Goods through Walmart, then I would be paying Walmart.
I mean, we'd have
also.
a service fee up
Anyway, who
I'm
cares?
sure. But the point is that it
I'm not
really
gonna do
insists, it helps people to go to their local shop and support them
Yes.
in that fashion. very directly. So
Yeah,
that's why we
it's-
love Creative Grids, because they love to support the small business in that fashion.
Right.
So Creative Grids, go them.
Right. So very, very awesome. We do like when, because first of all, I want to give everybody a good deal. I want you to get the best deal you can get, right? So I am honestly telling you, this is the best deal you can get because I know that they can't market at any other price.
Yeah.
And also, if I try to sell them on sale, and give you a sale price, then I could lose the ability to sell them, which I will never do because I love as
the
much
rulers
as I
too
love
much.
you, I also love Stripology a little bit more.
Well, I mean,
the same
amount,
amount,
at
right?
least.
Yeah.
Very, very evenly ish.
Okay, so now I have this strip sewn together,
Yes.
and now I'm going to cut it the other direction
Okay.
so that I have my 2.5-inch squares or pieces together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, I'm going to use a solid line, and I'm going to lay it right in that seam where they meet together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to double check that things are straight.
Okay.
And then I can cut at 0 and at 2.5 and at 5,
Okay.
7.5.
Okay. So
10.
I told you about Creative Grids. Now let me tell you a little bit more specifically about Stripology. So
Okay.
did you know
Tell me.
that Stripology rulers were designed by, I'm going to mess up her name,
Come on, don't mess it
Gudrun
up. Yes.
Erla.
Yes.
Gudrun Erla was born and raised in Iceland.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
She started quilting it at 23, and then she moved to Minnesota in 2003, and has written about 21 books or so of stuff, like a lot of stuff.
A lot.
Which is why, and since she designed the Stripology ruler, that's why she's got the Stripology books, because it all works around everything she's created.
Yeah,
Which
they
is
all
pretty
work together.
awesome. And not to mention the 1/2-inch cutting slots that the rulers come with, there are the square up portions of the ruler as well.
Right, right.
So it can square up to 12.5-inch on there as well, which is exciting.
I was just thinking, not only should I just make this color, but I'll make this color too.
Oh,
So I'll have a blue and orange set.
yeah.
Is that going to help me?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what you're doing. I'm just along for the ride.
You know what? No, I'm not going to do
Kind
it.
of scary
Okay.
down here.
So what I'm going to show you though is, let's say you've pieced together a couple different colorways, and now you're going to take, what I did was I pressed towards the dark. And if you do that every time, then when your dark goes next to your light and you fold them over to sew them together, your seams are going to nest very nicely and everything's going to lay really flat.
So Pam Bealey asked, what size ruler are you using? Did you use this guy, or was this just hanging out here?
Well, I'm not using this one. I don't
Okay.
even know why I have this one. This is
I
one
know.
of my
Another
favorites
Creative
too.
Grids.
It's just
It's
this
nice
always
straight edge.
hanging around. It's my quick trim tool.
So this one that Danielle was using is the Creative Grids Squared.
Right.
It's Stripology Squared. It's the first one they came out with, which is 12-inch.
It's not the first one.
It's not. I
No.
misspoke. It's 12.5-inch.
So they used to
Slotted.
have one that was wider, but it was not as tall.
Oh.
So you would have to fold your fabric another time, and then a lot of times you would get a wobble.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they were
not fun.
trying to make it, so that you would get it wide enough, and they weren't really accounting for, you kind of need, you guys all know this anyway, whenever you're using a ruler, it's nice to have a little bit of a running start. That's what I always call it. It's not like,
that
you
makes
just
sense.
need a little bit of space before you get going. And a nice end, right, for the follow through, if you will. So if you are edge to edge with your fabric, that's no good. So then you would
Right.
have to fold it over again. And if you didn't have it folded just right at those creases, you would get a little bit of a wobble.
Right.
So also by making it larger like this, you're able to square up all the way up to 12.5 inches. So this one works really nice in my limited space because since we have this and we have Jason and there's an iron and how am I, this one works the best in this space. You'll also see, okay, first of all, I love my Martelli mats.
Yes.
They really are my favorite and they last a long time. But what I don't like is that there's lines and there's lines on this and there's lines on this. And
lot of
sometimes
lines.
when you are trying to, I can do it, but I also think it is very difficult on camera for you to see when I have lines competing with lines.
Right, yeah, because you can actually see the lines on this grid. Like normally you would see, it would be a
It's just
distorted
it's kind
mess
of
of
right.
nonsense.
So I feel like this is a much better view. It's also the way that I work at home. At home, I have an old Olfa mat that is completely destroyed on the other side.
It's not destroyed. It's just been cut in the same spot 100 times.
It was
1,000
used at the
times.
shop, and of course, for the 36 and the 18, you have a nice little deep groove.
Yes.
And so, of course, we're not using that anymore. So it came home with me, and it's only a piece of a mat. Like it only goes up to, like it may even be like the
It's like
24
28, I think.
to, whatever.
Either way, it doesn't matter. So, but you can turn it over, and if you have an old mat that's got no markings on the other side, or whatever mat you use,
Right, and a mat that you can
having no
flip
markings
over.
over, it's nice.
It works wonderfully. Of course, I do like. Can you give me the larger one? The
Yes.
XL. So this was the first Stripology that I bought, and I really love it. So we had a different brand that was a strip ruler before this, but it was very flimsy. It did break, and it broke in a couple of spots. Also, the pieces in between, because it was like a little more flimsy, they were kind of they wobbled a little bit in that they could
give a lot.
Yeah, and so your cuts could be too big.
Yo.
Because you're pushing on the ruler and the ruler gives. That's no good. This also has the Creative Grids grip on the back, so it doesn't slide around as much, which is very
Not
awesome.
until you push down on the ruler, and that's what helps hold it in place.
Right.
It will slide a little bit if
Yeah.
you're not pushing down on it.
Right.
Which is fine.
But when I hold it down,
It doesn't want to go anywhere.
right.
It's like magic,
Yes.
but not.
So we got this, and I was like, oh, what is this for? It's got all these markings for squaring things up. And I know I've told you guys before, but let me tell you again anyway. I really had no idea how to square up anything before I got this ruler.
Yeah.
We had regular, let me see if I can get to.
What are you doing?
Do you see that ruler right there?
Oh my goodness. We'll ask the off-screen director, please assist with this situation.
And this is just a tiny one. But let's say,
Oh, there's her arm. Oh,
so a little square up ruler. And this is Creative Grid, so it's got grip on the back, so that's nice. And this goes up to 6.5. So if you needed to square up to 6.5, then that's easy. You put it on here, you line it up. You're going to cut here and here. You're going to flip it. Except it says it's easy, but it's not so easy to me because you have your block. It's pieced together. You're supposed to cut something off of all four sides. I'm sorry. I said to get that, and then I'm like,
and you sidetracked off.
Okay. And you need to cut some off. Well, how much is some? And I don't know. And it didn't really make sense to me. Like, where am I supposed to line the fabric up to over here on my first cut? I could figure it out after I've cut it once. Then I flip it around and I'm going to cut the second time. Now that I have a straight edge that I'm lining it up to, and I'm cutting here. So this was a little bit challenging for me. Plus, I felt like I needed a different size ruler for every time I need to cut something else, right? So I need a 6.5 inch square, and I need a 9.5 inch square. And now, hold on, this particular block I have to square up to 8 inches. Where do they even make an 8 inch one, or is it an 8.5, or what? Like, this is confusing. And of course, you can use this 6.5 inch ruler to square up to 3 inches. Sure. You can use it to, but like, and all of that works. I just don't know how very well.
But this is so much easier.
So much easier. So you put your fabric underneath here, and you, but instead of cutting here and here, you're going to cut on these two sides, then turn your block and on these two sides. So you're not cutting here and here. You're just cutting on these two, and then flip it, and then these two. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
It's a lot easier for some of us. Some of you love the old method, and that's totally fine. I'm not asking you to change.
It has dotted lines that go through it, so I can, wiggle my little block a little bit and make sure that it's lined up. And I'm not worrying about having to trim something off. I can see clearly that that I still have fabric on all four sides, so I see that I'm going to trim something off of all four sides while it's under this ruler.
I'm kidding.
I feel like, the fact that I was going to have to buy multiple square rulers, and that this has all of them in one ruler, and I can cut strips, this seemed like the better value to me.
Right.
And if you're going to get it, okay, so you have no Stripology. You're like,
Which is, how's that possible? How have I not sold you one yet?
Can you lean that
Oh, it's a
Perfect.
plastic
Yep.
reflecting.
So you have no Stripology ruler and you think this is a good thing and get this one. So the XL, the XL now they've taken and made the longer version, but also it is taller so that you don't have to double fold your fabric off of the bolt. So with the fabric, you're folding it over, it's already folded once, you're folding it one time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You're not having to
So
fold
it's
it
like
twice.
4 layers of fabric you're cutting.
Right.
Which is a solid number of layers. I wouldn't go through more than 4
right.
with these, or most rulers really, because I'm not brave enough.
Right. So the other thing though is that on this side it has your numbers, like for cutting your strips.
Yeah.
And on this side, if you turn the ruler around, then you're going to have all of these markings that tell you where to cut. If you are squaring up to 4.5, you're going to cut in this slot and in this slot.
You can see
So-
those white squares in there. Those are your squares.
Yeah.
That kind of
Square
redundant.
markings, yes. So where with this ruler, it doesn't have that. So you want to cut it 4.5. This is when I absolutely use my arrows
Yeah.
and I mark that I'm going to cut in that spot and I'm going to cut in this spot. That way I don't accidentally cut in the wrong split and I cut through too much of my block.
Right.
Now I'm making a new block.
Nobody needs that in their life. Okay,
Right.
so that's the bigger one. If you need one and you don't have one, this is ideal. Again, if you're doing a bunch of cutting strips, this going up to 20 inches, you're going to be able to get more strips cut
Right, because
in a
seriously,
single go.
if I have to cut a border that's 8 inches wide, I still get this ruler.
Yes.
Now I can get this ruler out and I can at least get 2 before I have to move my ruler. Like
Right.
this ruler, all I can get is the 0 and the 8. Okay, now I got to move the ruler. That's okay. I'm still using this ruler because when I put it on the fabric and I lay it down, everything stays where it's supposed to.
Correct.
I can clearly see what I need to cut. I cut it 0, I cut it 8. I then move that piece and then I can butt this right up to the 0 and make another cut. But with this one, I can get the 0, the 8, the 16. Now I'm moving. And anyway, so this also has a 60-degree line,
Mhm.
and she's written several patterns
Yes.
for using that 60-degree, and it's pretty amazing.
It is.
Lisa said she loves this Stripology. I mean, I think several people have said that.
Yes, there's-
Jackie said that too.
Yes.
The
I have yet to find somebody that does not like the Stripology ruler.
Well, to
On
me, one thing, Lisa just came in last week to buy a second one to give as a gift. I'm not going to say for who.
Good call.
But because she likes it so much and she knows that this person will also love it, when you find tools, I've had lots of customers who've come in and said, I wish I would have known about that Stripology ruler when I first started because that would have, it's a game changer. It made my life. Anyway,
So you
then
have-
there's the mini.
Yes.
So-
I have one here opened already.
I thought, now why the heck am I going to use this mini?
Yeah, why?
Oh, I have friends that cut their binding at 2 1/4.
Yeah.
And I said, I'd never do that because I can't use my Stripology ruler. If I can't use the Stripology ruler, I'm not
doing
using it, right?
Nope.
So then she said, oh, yes, you can. The Creative Grids people, I'm not sure who, they figured it out. They have done all the math for you. And on their site, there is a cheat sheet. So you want to cut multiples of this size that are 1/4 inch. It tells you exactly where to cut. So let's say you're making 2 1/4. It tells you to cut at 0 and at 4 and at whatever. Okay, I don't remember. And
It's kind
then
of magical, really.
you move the ruler and there's a 1/4 inch marking on all of them. So here there's a 1/4 inch just right outside the 0. So you move your fabric. Now it's a 1/4 inch out. And when you cut at 2, you're cutting 2 1/4. Then you've already cut at 4. So, or something.
There's
Anyway,
a whole cheat sheet.
again-
It's a whole fantastic thing.
There's math involved.
If you need
and
it,
somebody
let us
else
know.
already did
We
it.
can help you find
And
it.
so she can cut a whole bunch of 2 1/4 like that.
Magically.
Okay. So, but this one does 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
That's smaller than a 1/4.
Yeah.
That's tiny.
So if you need, how many times do you have to cut blocks that are 2 7/8?
Never. I don't do it. I refuse to. I'll go to a 1/4.
Well, you can't because then nothing's gonna
This is why I don't piece, guys. Because I don't
match
know what
up
to do.
right.
Oh, okay.
I have heard that before. Like a lot of people will just say, "Oh, it says cut it 2 7/8. I'm going to cut it 3, and then I'll trim it up after it's done."
Sure.
So what happens though is if you don't trim, so I don't trim up very well, right? We've already talked about that. I had a hard time with squaring up.
Yeah.
So maybe I just wasn't doing it right because I would make half square triangles at 3 and then try to square it up. And now my point from this one to this one don't line up because I squared up differently from this block to this block. Does that make sense?
It does.
I need like a lot of visual aids and I don't have them. But anyway.
No, your hands are doing a great job.
Okay. So, but if you're with me, you with me? So then I was like, okay.
We're not at 0 yet, so we're doing good.
Then I thought, you know what? I really got to start cutting at 7/8. And I'm like, dang it. Where do I need to cut on this dang? So now I have to use a regular ruler. I'm already mad, right?
Right. I hate regular rulers. They're the
And
worst.
now I got to make sure I'm right on the right line. And I have things lined up. Okay, fine. So that was getting aggravating. So then I found this little guy.
This is fabric. You found this.
I found this fabric. So I want to cut it 2 7/8. First of all, I'm going to lay the fabric on here and I'm going to cut at 0.
Okay.
Then I'm going to get rid of that piece.
Okay, bye.
There is a 1/8 line
Like confetti.
and a 3/8 line.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to line the edge up, my clean edge of my fabric, right to the 3/8 line.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I'm going to cut at 2 1/2 because a half is 4/8.
Yes.
And I've added the 3/8 by going beyond the 0, right?
Yeah.
So by cutting at 2 1/2, I'm cutting at 2 7/8.
What is this magic you're using?
Then I turn it. You know about this. Anyway, I turn it and I do the same thing, right? So I'm going to first get a clean cut at 0.
Yeah.
Now this is where Jason goes wrong and just goes
Every time.
at the half.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You gotta move this.
I just want to cut things. That's all.
And you gotta then line it up to the 3/8 line. Cut it 2 1/2. And now I've got 2
You know, you
7/8.
best not let some people see that because this may turn into the Salem witch hunt again. You magic like that.
All this magic that I'm doing. So then you can make accurate half square triangles. If they tell you to cut at 2 7/8, you actually cut at 2 7/8. Okay, don't just go to 3.
That's a really good idea.
What I
like
have
that.
learned in the last couple of years is take your time.
Please take your time.
Do it right the first time. You don't have to undo it and redo it and all that kind of stuff. Also,
piecing this together.
once it's made forever.
Right.
So if you do it accurately the first time or the second time, then once it's finished, then it's finished forever, and you're going to be much happier with your product. Then, oh well, that's good enough. Because then you might go, man, I really wish can you see that? Do you see that little spot where I lost a point? And believe me, it's absolutely still going to be beautiful.
It'll be fine.
But I'm trying to help you improve your skills. I hope I'm doing that.
So,
Before we derail,
we all.
I just wanted to say, so what I typically do is I use my XL
Mhm.
for like the bulk of my cutting.
Yes.
And then I'll use the mini for my sub cutting
Right.
when I'm cutting smaller pieces that are actually going to go into my block.
Yes. And that's a really good use for them because then you're not trying to juggle this giant piece of plastic to make some simple cuts.
The Galactic Explosion quilt. I
Mhm.
needed to cut a lot of things at 2 7/8. I needed a lot of, I think it was 2 7/8. Anyway, I needed a lot of little squares to make flying geese.
Mhm.
And so I was cutting fabric that was wide enough that when I then turned it, I could get a couple out of, but that I could get several 2 7/8 this way, then turn those, stack them up, cut them 2 7/8 that way. Without visual aids, this is what we got. But so instead of working with a whole, like piece that was this wide,
Yeah.
and now it's too wide for I would cut off a chunk that was wide enough I could get, so maybe it was 6 inches wide.
Right.
And then I was able to have it folded over, work them 2 at a time.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
line. Sarah's nodding, so I'm assuming that
She gets it.
everybody gets
You get
it,
it.
right? I pretend that Sarah is all of you.
I'm the ambassador for all of you.
Yes.
Collective representative. Here
Yes.
she
So yeah. So if you don't get it, it's Sarah's fault
is. Sorry.
because she nodded.
So the moral effort of everything we just covered with the stripology and everything is that when it comes to MASPP,
Yeah.
using your strip piecing is a really good alternative to cutting
Right.
240 little tiny squares and piecing them together. So that's the moral of what we full circle. How'd you enjoy that? It's like confetti. Any questions on that?
So I don't really need to sew this, do I?
You know, I mean, you
open
can't.
it
Yeah,
and then
go ahead.
show them.
Show them how beautiful it turned
Because
out because you've starched
gonna be-
everything.
Gotta tell them what SPP is.
Yeah, what the heck
Look,
is
I have
SPP?
all of this.
Okay.
And then all of this. And
I
then
wish you'd get to it.
I'm going to. You were talking a whole lot about things in Stripology. If you need a Stripology ruler, we do have them. If you're not local and you need one, we will ship it to you.
Yeah.
You can buy them online on our website, warmncozyquilting.com. Shop. Check things out. Speaking of shopping, so there was a question thrown out there by Ms. Sherry Jo asking if we were going to give a sneak preview of the End of Bolt sale that's happening in shop all month long starting today.
So there is one shelf in the store that is excluded.
One little corner right here.
Okay, it's actually two.
It's two shelving units in the
two
corner
shelving units in the corner
that are excluded.
That are excluded.
But everything
That's it.
else in the shop,
Everything else. So sneak preview is everything
shop.
except for this.
so if you walk in the shop and you look around, don't look at this shelf. You can't, no. But these, absolutely. What does that mean in the bolt sale? Here's what it means. It means if you walk in and you find a bolt that you absolutely must have in your life and you want the entire piece, you will get that entire piece, like the whole from end to bolt, for is it 20% off? 20% off.
Yes.
That's
that whole
absurd.
piece.
And we're going to do this all month long.
Yeah.
So even if it's an 8 foot or 8 foot,
If
that
it's
would be
8 feet, you
2.5
can.
yards.
Yeah, you can get that.
If it's 2 yards, take the whole thing. If it's 12 yards, take the whole thing. 20% off. Absolutely, yes, you can. That starts today. In shop only. And for those of you that are not local, if you would like to participate,
oh, shucks.
you go to the website. We do have a program called, is it Calendly? What are they looking for, Sarah?
Calendly.
Calendly. And you can schedule a
It's
time.
like the first thing. You just scroll down a little bit and it's like, hey, do you want to sign up for virtual shopping?
Because you're going to virtual shop with somebody. Not me.
Could be you.
It could be. I doubt it. But it could be, but highly unlikely. And you can shop the store.
If
and
you want to
see a bolt
shop
that
with
you want,
Jason, you say
you would have to
in your notes,
specify, and then you
I
have to
want to shop
find
with Jason.
a substitute for Jason to take care of his workload so that I can go over and shop with you. Anyway, during regular shop hours, you can virtual shop with somebody, find a bolt. If you find something you want and you want the end of the bolt, you can take advantage of it that way. But otherwise, it's in store only, with the exception of
the last Wednesday of the month. Okay, if you're new here, we do Wild Wednesday every Wednesday,
Yes,
and
every
we
Wednesday.
show awesome fabric, and we give you a good deal, and you get to see the newest, latest, and greatest stuff.
Yes.
But the last Wednesday of the month, we're going to do a birthday extravaganza.
Because her birthday is the end of the month.
Yes.
The 27th, and we need everybody there.
So
it's
the
going to be a good time.
26th is the Wednesday, though.
Yes.
So you can't wait till my birthday.
Don't wait till the
You'll be
27th.
late.
Be there
Okay.
the 26th.
So usually when we do an End of the Bolt sale on our Facebook page, we just randomly, tomorrow at 1:00. This time we're letting you know ahead of time.
Way ahead of time.
Set your alarm, set your clock, set your whatever.
Plan accordingly. Tell your family you cannot have dinner at 5:00. You will wait until I've done it. Whenever I am done.
You say like this.
Wait. You will wait. And then you
Tell
sit
the
down
dogs,
with your
go,
phone.
get.
Throw the dogs in the basement in their kennel, so you're not distracted. Let the cats. Well, you can't do anything about cats because they're cats. Just let them.
It could
cat.
jump on you. I don't know. Anyway.
Just be sure you have your phone ready to go.
Right.
Because it's gonna
Charge
be
your phone that day.
An end of bolt sale, which means we're going to show the bolt. That means
And the
you're
first
going to
person
say,
to claim
I want
it
that one. The first one to claim it on Sarah's screen will get it
gets it.
for that wonderful price. Also,
Right.
we're going to sample auction that evening. So we have some floor samples we need to auction off.
Yeah. So
because there's
quilt
just not
auction.
much space.
A whole. So you want to buy a whole quilt?
Done. Made.
Yeah.
You're going to sell out. Well, we have a lot of fabric
yeah.
that's come in and a lot of fabric going out. So the more you take
so
out,
let
the
me
more
tell
we can
you.
bring in.
Yeah. So let me tell you, we keep getting boxes, and then I'm putting it in the computer, and Trish comes back and she says, "Okay, Danielle, where am I putting this?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then she does some magic
Yeah.
and shuffles things around, and she's like, "Okay, I've got a spot." I'm like, "Okay." And this keeps happening. And she's like, we need more shelves. I said, we just need to get rid of the stuff that's got 2 yards on it. And the bolt takes up so much room, right? So come in, look for skinny bolts. Really, this would be the way that I would suggest to do it, is that now you should come in early in the month, look for skinny bolts, buy a whole bunch of them. Mostly because that will get rid of the skinny bolts for me and I can buy more fabric.
Right.
But also, we have people that show up all month long.
Yes.
We do a Wednesday sale every week.
Right.
So this bolt might get skinnier as the month goes on. So it's not like you all have to rush in today.
No,
Right.
you don't have
Get
to
the
rush
skinny
and crowd
bolts.
in. It's fine. It's
Right.
okay.
We will still have skinny bolts all month long.
Yes. Because then somebody will go, okay, I'll take the end, and I just need 2 yards of that one. Okay. And then somebody else buys a yard of that one. Now this only has 2 yards left on it. It's now skinny. Now you may want it. So anyway, yeah, there's no need to rush in, but you absolutely can.
Absolutely. Pam says she'll be on the road to Missouri that day. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh.
Now, on the positive side, Missouri
If you're
isn't
going
that
to
far
Missouri-
away from us. Not that far.
I don't know. Maybe she's
I don't know
going
where
3
she's
hours.
probably
He
just going
is
to-
going to Lee Summit.
It's
Oh,
not that far away. That's like Kansas City.
Yeah.
So
not that close.
you gotta like up and over. I mean, okay, here's the thing.
Anyway,
If you're gonna go out 70, means you might be going through St. Louis. If you're gonna be going through St. Louis, we aren't that far.
You're almost here.
Just kind of look at the map, consider it. We would love to have you come in and say hi. Anyway, moving on.
She'll come in one day and we're off or something.
Again, something silly.
We're never off. So that's totally fine.
We're bad at planning. Okay, so we've talked about end to bolt. That was the big thing to talk about. Monday flash sale. So this Monday, we're doing books and patterns. Right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Does that
Books
seem
and
right,
patterns
Deborah?
on Monday.
Yeah.
So 9 a.m. our website, warmandcozyquilting.com. We have a section called flash sale.
Right.
You can also check out the rest of the site in case you need some fabric to go with this book that you're buying, because you're going to need some pattern or some fabric for it. Go do that. That's all Monday.
Right. If you're not on Facebook, you have to go to our website. We will remind you on Facebook, but you have to
Right.
go to our website.
Wednesday.
And
Just-
please
it's Wednesday.
look at the rest of the website, because I spend a lot of time and Sarah spends a lot of time
I'm
making
trying to make
sure
it pretty for you.
that the website's in good shape for you.
There's that. Let's see here. Wednesday sale.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Again, I don't know what we're doing Wednesday. We never know what we're doing Wednesday because it depends on what comes in the door.
Mm-hmm.
So we never know. You don't know either.
Yeah,
That's
and
okay. We'll learn
sometimes,
together.
like, I really always think, oh, we need to make a sample. And so
Yeah.
then it's going to have to sit for another week. And then there's a lot of times I'm like, I can't wait a week to show them.
I want to sell it.
I got to show everybody right now.
My friends
So-
need this in their life. Yeah, you come check that out. Bring your friends. It'll be fun. We'll talk more. All right, Stash Pot Pie. Shall we talk about Stash Pot Pie?
It has boomerang.
It is dangerous around here. So, SPP. For those of you who don't know, if you're still hanging with us and you're like, well, I haven't completely hated these people yet. Stash Pot Pie. This is how this works. You buy May's pattern. That's this one here.
Right.
You can go to our website. You can shop that. There's a section for Stash Pot Pie 2. You can buy May's pattern. You have until June 5th. June 5th.
The first Saturday in June.
To complete this quilt top. We just need the flimsy. We only need to see a picture of the finished top. It doesn't have to be quilted and bound and prettied and everything else. Just finish the top.
Right.
As far as sizing is concerned, we prefer it to be the size that the directions say.
Right.
You don't have to make
You
the
can
pie.
absolutely make it bigger.
You can make it bigger.
You don't have to make the pie, but you can.
And if you do make the pie, let me know how it goes.
Send a
'cause I'm
picture of the
intrigued.
pie too.
I would love to know how that pie goes. How many of you have made pies from these recipes? Anybody out there?
I know one person. I'm not going to name her. Should I name her?
No,
Robin
no.
has always
Oh, okay.
made the pie.
Well, now
I don't know about
name.
always, but she makes the pie sometimes.
Does she?
And
I don't
sometimes she posts the picture of her quilt with her pie.
Oh. Well, anyway,
Anyway.
just saying. Let me know. I'm curious as to how that goes. I mean, how people actually take advantage of the pie recipe. I would love to know this. Anyway,
Right.
so you make that top. You send us a picture. You get it in the collective, which is our Facebook group, the Quilters Collective. You can put a picture out there, and all throughout the month, you're going to see people posting their pictures of them because that's how we mark you down as completed.
Right.
If you have it done by June 5th, and you send us a picture, or you can email us, info@warmandcozyquilting.com.
Right.
Or you can just bring it in and show us, and we'll write
Stop
you
in
down.
and shop.
Because
and
we love to see it in person, because they're much better in person, really.
Yeah.
If you do all that by June 5th, on June 5th, that Saturday, we are going to give you the June's pattern for free, which I haven't showed you yet. Do you want to see it? Raise your hand, everybody. You guys are so funny. I don't travel from St. Louis. You go through Memphis and Springfield. Oh, you go up that direction. Ah, sorry, sidetrack. That's all right, Pam. Maybe next time. So that's Stash Pap High, and nobody's raising their hands yet. Raise your hand. Let's see, June. Anybody?
Maybe they don't want to.
Maybe they don't want to. All right.
There's a thumbs up. One thumbs up.
Okay, we're getting some. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I'll show it to you. Is there anything else we need to say
No.
regarding May or the Stash Pot Pie program in general? Does anybody have any questions?
You can. Let's say you've never done this before, and you're like, that. First of all, this is beautiful. But let's say you're like, I've made an Irish chain before, and that's really not my thing. You can right now go on and buy June's pattern. You can skip May.
Yep.
Also, we don't have them yet, but if you, I'm kind of taking a consensus, right? Is that what it?
Sure.
If people want a kit of this, I will absolutely make kits.
What if people want a kit of May's?
If people want a kit of this, I think I can do that.
Okay. Now
The problem is that I think that there's a couple of colors that I'm out of.
Oh,
Might have to swap.
Right.
So, all right. Deep breath, everybody. Just keep in mind, remember, this is May.
Right. To the left.
This is June. I'm going to stand up.
To the right.
I'm going to show you this.
I can't help it.
Are you ready?
Because
Here,
I
how's
can't
what I'm going to do?
zoom
Hold this
out.
pin.
Okay, and I hold it like this.
Hold that like that.
All right.
I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold that pin. Not
So
sound.
this one was made by Debbie.
Yes.
And then it was quilted
Yes.
and bound. And I will tell you that so it's supposed to have one border. She added two.
Yes.
And since our outside border was a larger print, she did make it a little bit bigger. So hers, the center is, okay, let's go ahead. The center is the size of the pattern, but she did add a little bit here. So it is a little bit larger if you're like, man, that's a big quilt. It's really not as big as
I'm going to
It
zoom
is
in on this pretty quilt.
It is fantastic. Again, this is June's pattern. You can buy this now, today,
Yep.
Yeah, you could.
and you
buy
can
the
start
June's
making June's, and that means by the first Saturday in July,
Mhm.
you would get July's pattern free. So that gives you 2 months to work on this if you are, wondering. That was a conversation in the collective or somewhere at one point was, can I buy the furthest one in advance, and is that cheating to get that far in? It is not
No.
cheating.
No,
Absolutely not. It's designed so everybody can kind of take advantage of getting at least a free pattern out of the system. And not everybody has a month to make a quilt top.
Right.
So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
The good
Wonderfully
thing,
done, Debbie. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is beautiful. And it is out of this line. This line is called,
Cedar shake.
Thank you.
Oh, Cedar Shake.
Cedar Shake. It's a Marcus line. I love it.
Yeah.
They tend to make fun of me because I say, I love fabric that looks like wallpaper.
You do, which is weird.
And I mean, I don't think it looks like wallpaper.
It kind of does.
Anyway.
It kind of has a wallpapery feel, not feel, but like
Mhm.
appearance.
Beautiful colors. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to put that teal with that rust color, but it is so gorgeous. Oh, and I mean, I know you can't really see it from there, but it's amazing. If you're like, I need to see,
Oh my God. I'm losing the battle all of a sudden.
I need
All
to
bad.
see that fabric, at least up close. Go to our website, and there is, when you go and shop, there is a Cedar Shake. Click that button, and you can see everything that's in
From
the
that
line.
line.
I'm sure that Sarah is currently
Working on like
thinking about linking it. Yes, she's really good at this stuff.
Yes.
I didn't tell her I was going to do that. So anyway,
Okay. So that's June.
oh my gosh, it would be beautiful in any mode of print. I think you are absolutely accurate.
Yeah, the
on
stars, the double friendship stars that are happening on that one are fantastic and look great. Nicely X. Anyway, I won't tell you how to make your quilts. You can handle that.
that. Mhm.
So there are a couple things to go over real quick before we run out of time. So we have a Handy Quilter van event coming July.
Oh yes, hands-on van event.
We don't have sign up out there just yet. Do we have that
No.
signed up? The classes aren't open yet, but just so you're aware, save the dates, July
22nd and 23rd,
Or
24th and 25th.
okay.
you would take 2 days worth of classes.
It's hands-on with the Amara.
Mhm.
It's ideal
You get
for
your own machine.
you get your own machine, or if you're taking the class with your friend and you're cool with your friend and you using the same machine, we might allow you to
Totally
double
fine.
up on that one, which is fine. But that's coming in July, so mark your calendars. If
Right.
you want to take some hands-on class and determine if you really want to do this with that long arm,
Mhm.
we're your people. That's coming. Speaking of long arms, the Cozy Quilter Long Arm Group, our
Mhm.
other Facebook group that we have.
Yes.
We have our third meeting coming up this Saturday,
No, Thursday.
Thursday,
The first Thursday of the
first
month.
Thursday of the month, which will be May 6th. Okay, so mark your
Yes.
calendars. That's 7 o'clock.
Right. You have to have your homework done. No,
If you have your homework, have it posted out there. You know what it is. You've been there with the last one. You know what your homework is. Do it. That will be at 7
We're working
p.m.
on our skills, right?
That's right. It's a Zoom meeting with Mickey.
Mhm.
So it'll be a good time. If you don't have a long arm, it's okay. You can still join the group.
If you're thinking of a long arm, if you quilt on your domestic machine, you will still get good information
You
from this
absolutely
group.
will get good information from the group. Please don't be like, oh, it says long arm in the name. I can't do.
We all
Quilting is
have,
quilting. I don't care what machine
Right.
you do it on.
we all have needles and thread,
Yep.
right? We all have tension, not just from our husbands,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
other tension as well.
I have that.
So it all translates.
Absolutely. And finally, YouTube. If you're watching this through the YouTubes right
Yeah.
now, because this is going to be uploaded to the YouTubes, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
If you haven't gone to YouTube and subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Helps us out.
And we'll keep adding content as much as we can. At this point, I don't know that I have much else to talk about. Does anybody have any questions? Nobody? Anybody? I love when I do that because I know that I'm not going to have a response within the next 10 seconds. So,
Right. Because there's a delay and then we have
Delay.
to. Yeah. So today's going to be first day of Into the Bolt. Am I going to see you? Are you going to be here?
you going to come in and say hi? I won't be here. So, yeah, I got nothing else. Okay. Well,
Also, we are renting time on our Moxie.
oh, yeah.
That's still
And
happening.
the Capri.
In the Capri. So if you are, you are thinking about a long arm, you're not really sure you want to come rent, we do that.
Absolutely. Good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I'm going to go run around.
Okay.
I have a long day ahead of me.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. But I am.
He wishes he could be here and see you guys
Yes.
coming for the End of the Bolt, but instead we have other things to do.
Yay,
He has
work.
other things to do. I will be here ready to see you. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye.